about the circular fifths. I'm very passionate about the circular fifths just because I think it's one of the greatest tools that was ever invented. I think it's a work of genius. I believe it was Pythagoras that designed this tool, and it's just so elegant. I mean, it's so simple, and yet it contains so much information and so many tools to understand and compose music. So I put together this video just to show you how I use it and how you can use it. There are a number of videos explaining this, and I think I just want to show how you can use it in a very, very visual sort of way without any musical experience at all. Okay, so that's the perspective I'm coming at it from. Um, so, firstly, let's just explain what's going on here. Um, Circular fifths, first and foremost, you can see it like a clock face because there are 12 notes, right? Um, and so you can see it like a clock face, and we're going to move clockwise or anti-clockwise. First things first, here it says circular fifths or circular fourths because you're either going to move clockwise, in which case you're moving in fifths, or you're going to move anti-clockwise, in which case you're moving in fourths, right? And a fifth in music is just the distance between two notes. So if you're in a scale that starts on C and you count up the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get to G, you got your fifth. And if you count up the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, you got F, and you got your fourth. Okay, so that's why it's called the circle of fifths. Um, and you've literally got these numbers here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's like one sharp, right? Two sharps, three sharps, four sharps, two flats, three flats, four flats. Okay, and this relates to key signatures. So we're going to go through some of the six use cases for the circular fifths and explain how you can answer these questions. So firstly, we've got these mnemonic devices which are very useful. Okay, so that's the order of sharps. Fat cats go down alleys eating birds. Boom. All right. Okay, so first thing that we can do with the circular fifths is use it for chord progressions. Okay, so the most common chord progression in music is probably a 1-4-5. All right. So in the circular fifths, you start with C, for example. You got the 1, 4, and a 5. So it's the same. You go 1, and 1 to the left is a 4, and 1 to the right is a fifth. So 1-4-5 in E flat is going to be E flat, A flat, B flat. Okay. In A is going to be A, D, E. All right. So if you look on YouTube for a list of songs using a 1-4-5 chord progression, you'll find out that there are literally thousands of songs that use this chord progression, and probably maybe 50 of them will be songs that you know, and maybe 20 of them will be songs that you really love. Okay, I'm just making up these numbers, but that's to show how prevalent it is. And if you want to write a song, maybe your first song, it's not a bad place to start. Okay, and knowing that you can make that chord progression in any key, because your voice might not match to C major. Okay, so here's the 1-4-5 in different keys. Then you got the 2-5-1. 2-5-1, unlike the 1-4-5, the first chord is minor, but it's a progression that moves in fourths. Jimi Hendrix, for example, used to use progressions that move in fifths a lot. So you might have something like C, G, D, A. If you look at songs like Little Wing, Hey Joe, they're very much like songs whose chord progression moves around the circle of fifths, usually in major chords. In jazz, however, they use a progression called the 2-5-1 mostly, right? So we're going to go anti-clockwise, and the first note or the first chord is always going to be a minor. So let me show you how that works. In B flat, if you want to do a 2-5-1 in B flat, you go 2 to the right, so you got C minor, F or F7, and B flat or B flat major 7. If you want a 4-note chord, or if you want a 3-note chord. If you want a 4-note chord, they're going to be major 7s and minor 7s and dominant 7s. Otherwise, they're just going to be minor and major. If you're in D, again, you're going to go 2 clockwise, with E minor, A, and D. In A flat, 2 clockwise, you got B flat minor, E flat, and then A flat. Or, like I said, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, and A flat major 7. Okay, so that's how to use it for chord progressions. You also got this bonus chord progression here. It's a 1-6-2-5, very much like the 2-5-1. 1-6-2-5 in C, you go 3 to the right, right? 1, 6, 2, 5. Here is 1, 6, 2, 5, or A flat major 7, F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7. Okay, so in 1-6-2-5, it's major, minor, minor, and then major. All right, so that's chord progressions. You can also invent chord progressions just by taking some sequence or pattern from the circle of fifths and doing some experimentation. What key are we in? I.e., key signatures. Key signatures are these things here, right, with these sharps and these flats, and they're not random at all. Okay, so you got a very specific order of sharps. Okay, so let me just take you to a score, right? Okay, so this is Matteo Carcassi, Opus 60. Number 5, we got this one sharp here. Okay, so what's that telling us? It's telling us what key we're in, right? It's like a code. That's why I said this thing is so elegant. Just like standard notation in itself, it's so elegant. It's just like a code, right? This is telling us that we're in the key of G major, and I'm going to explain how you know that, right? This is telling us we're in the key of C. Key of C. We're in the key of E. All right. How did I know that? Right. Well, you can actually just look here, and you've got these four sharps. Oh, you go to the circle of fifths, 4 sharps. That's E major. And if it's got 3 flats, and we know we're in E flat. Okay, but the next question is, what are the sharp and the flat keys? So to know the sharp and the flat keys, really you need to know the order. Okay, so this might have 3 sharps, but what's the order of those sharps? Okay, and this is where the mnemonic devices come in. So these are the ones that I learned. Fat cats go down alleys eating birds. That's the order of sharps. Okay, so in G, it's just fat, F. In D, fat cats, F and C. So in the key of D, F and C, they're sharp, right? So it's in the key of A, fat cats go, that's F, C, and G. Those are all the sharp keys, and so on and so forth. Okay, and if you will be very observant, you'll notice actually that when I said F, right, it's that sharp is actually on the line of F, right? And this sharp here is on the line of F, and that sharp here is in the space of C. So it's like it's all there, just spelled out in a very, like I said, minimalistic, elegant fashion. All right. Now the order of flats, you can use battle ends and down goes Charles's father. Battle ends and down goes Charles's father. All right. So in the key of B flat, for example, we got 2 flats. That's battle ends B and E. for example, we want to spell the key of B flat, right? And we know that the alphabet remains the alphabet: B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, right? And we've got the mnemonic device for the order of flats. We've got battle ends. So we know that in the key of B flat, B, battle, and E, ends. Those are the flats, okay? And you can take the same, let's do A flat, right? Again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, right? Go to the order of flats, battle ends, and down. Okay, so we've got battle, ends, and down. Okay, and that's the key of A flat. Okay, like I said, I've got a different method of doing this, which I'll show you later on. In E, 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 F, G, A, B, C, D, E, right? And order of sharps, go here. Fat cats go down. We've got 4 sharps, so fat cats go down. Fat, oops. Cats go down. That's the key of E, right? So very useful in that regard. So we covered key signatures. These are key signatures. We covered what are the flats and the sharps in each key. Okay, next, what's the relative minor of, right? So every chord and every scale, every major chord and every major scale has something that we call a relative minor. All right, so C has a relative minor, which is A minor. Right, and the circle of fifths shows you all of the relative minors. Right, so relative minor of C, like I said, is A minor. Relative minor of A flat is F minor. Okay, all of that information in there. All right, so essentially, like these chords, they're very related. These chords and the scales, they're very related. Okay, so you can go between them. Like I said, this 1 6 2 5. You see how we go from C to A minor, because like I said, they're related. F major, for example. So let's look at this 1 4 5 progression, right? And this is just a bonus, right? So we got this 1 4 5 in C. We got C, F, G, and we're gonna play the relative minors. So we're gonna go A minor. Relative minor of F is D minor, and the relative minor of G is E minor. Right? So again, 1 4 5 major, C, F, G, and then the relative minor. So that could be a chord progression in itself, or it could be like this is the A part, right? C, F, G, and this is the B part or the bridge, A minor, D minor, E minor. Okay, so you just go to the relative minor, the relative minors of the chord progression. Okay, and yeah, in terms of how you spell out the scale and how you spell out the chords, we're going to move on to that now. To use the circle of fifths to spell scales, any of the 12 diatonic scales, okay, and you don't need to know any music theory. It's a visual tool. It's just like an abacus, but for music. Okay, so you don't need any knowledge. And here are the 3 steps that we're going to use to do this. We have the starting note, the tonic. Okay, so if we're in C major, that's C. If we're in D major, that's D. If we're in B flat, that's B flat. We go clockwise 2 steps, and I don't mean 2 steps in the circle, I mean 2 steps in the alphabet. Okay, that's very important. 2 steps in the alphabet. We go 2 steps in the alphabet, and then we come back to the note before. So if we're in B flat, right, it's going to work like this. We're going to go 2 steps, B, what comes after B? C. What comes after C? D. And then we go to the step before B flat, which is E flat. So the key of B flat is spelled like this: B flat, C, D. We come back to E flat, F, G, A, and then back to B flat. Okay, so that's B flat done. Now we're going to do G. So G, A, B. Back to the one before, C, D, E, F sharp. And then the next one is G, of course. So now I'm going to show you without doing the extra talking. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Let's go to A. We're going to go A, B, C sharp. Right? And then back to D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then back to A. Okay, so that's we'll do one more in the sharp keys. Okay, let's do E. Okay, so we've got E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and then back to E. Let me delete these and we'll go on to the flat keys. We've already done B flat, so I'm not going to do that. We'll do E flat, right? So E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, and E flat. Okay, that's the key of E flat. Let's go to D flat. Key of D flat. D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, and then back to D flat. Okay, so that's how you spell out the scales with the circular fifths. We can also spell chords, which is very useful. Now, before we start, let me explain to you what's happening here. Okay, so with spelling scales, the order was the alphabet, right? We got C, D, E, F, etc., etc. We're not going to use the alphabet as the order for spelling chords, because chords, they're built in thirds. Okay, so it's more or less taking every other note of the scale. Okay, so here's your order of thirds, and if you don't know the order of thirds by heart, you want to learn the order of thirds by heart, and here's a good way to do it. You've got a mnemonic device, right? Let me change that to boy. So if you can remember this, you can remember the order of thirds. Every good boy deserves food and cash. Okay, so every good boy deserves food and cash. Every good boy does it. Goes on and on. So here's one I made earlier. This is just the chords in the key of C major. Okay, just so you know, these are C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G dominant 7, A minor 7, and B half diminished. And here we're going to speak about this later. So I'm only going to deal with the major sevenths and the minor sevenths. And these types of chords, we can just adapt the major and the minor seventh chords to find these out. Okay, so just the same way with the scales, We don't need to know any music theory, okay? We just need to know this mnemonic device, and we'll use our visual tool, which is a circle of fifths. Okay, so first we're going to spell out some major seventh chords. We're going to start with G major 7. Okay, so these are 3 steps. We've got the starting note is G. Okay, we're going to move 1 step clockwise in the order of thirds. G, B, D, F. Right, but we're going to spell G major 7. So G, B, and then we come back to the note after the starting note and continue clockwise. So we've got G, B, D, F sharp. Okay, so G, our starting note, we go 1 step clockwise, G, B, right? Order of thirds, G, B, come back to the note after G, the starting note, D, and then continue clockwise, F sharp. Okay, so that's how we got G, B, D, F sharp. Let's move on to E major 7. So we got E, E, G sharp, B, D sharp. Now you might have noticed I skipped this G here and I skipped this D here. That's because they're flats, right? And in the key of E, we're using sharps. Okay, so we're going to skip those. We're going to use the sharps. Okay, so E, G sharp, B, D sharp. E, G sharp, B, D sharp. Next we go to B flat major 7, and again B, D, F, A. So it's B flat, D, F, A. B flat, D, F, A. And D flat, F, A flat, C. D flat, F, A flat, C. Now with the minors, it's the same concept, it's just pretty much in reverse. Okay, so instead of going clockwise, we're now going anti-clockwise. Right? So we'll take our starting note, we'll start with A minor 7, we'll take our starting note, order of thirds, A, C, E, G, right? You've got it there, A, C, E, G. I've got A, 1 step anti-clockwise, A, C, come back to the note before the starting note, so A, C, E, before continuing anti-clockwise, A, C, E, G. So A minor 7, A, C, E, G. That's a G minor 7, G, B, so the order of thirds, G, B, D, F. G, B, D, F. G, B flat. The one before D is F. G, B, D, F. A flat minor 7, A flat. A, C, E, G, that's the order of thirds. So A, C flat, E, E flat, sorry, G flat, A flat, C flat, E flat, G flat. Okay, E flat minor 7, E, G, B, D. That's the order of those. E, G, B, D. So E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat, E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat. Okay, so like that, you can spell any of the 12 major 7 chords and any of the 12 minor 7 chords. So what about other types of chords? Okay, so a dominant 7, for example, this is a formula for a dominant 7th. You've got a root, third, fifth, and a flat 7. So we got this G major 7 here, and the way we're going to make that a dominant 7 is we're just going to flat the 7. So F sharp, instead of F sharp, you're going to have F. Okay, so G, B, D, F, that's G dominant 7. E major 7, you got E G sharp, B, D sharp, you'll flat the D sharp, and it'll be E G sharp, B, D, so on and so on. So I might as well just quickly explain it. Dominant 7th is always on the 5th degree of the scale. Okay, half diminished is always on the 7th degree of the scale. Okay, so we're gonna make a half diminished chord, right? So half diminished is root, flat third, flat fifth, and flat seventh. So we'll take, to make the half diminished, we'll start with the minor 7th chords, right? So we'll take A minor 7 and make that a half diminished chord. So we've got A, C, E, G, and we'll just go to E and flat the E, right? So a half diminished will be A, C, E flat, G. G half diminished will be G, B flat. Instead of D, it's going to be D flat, because this is the root, third, fifth, and seventh. Root, third, fifth, seventh. Okay, so on, so on. It's all maths. All right. G minor 7. You got G minor 7 flat 5, or G half diminished, G, B flat, D flat, F. I don't think I need to do another half diminished, but then you do have diminished. All right, so a diminished, you're going to have a root, flat third, flat fifth, and a double flat 7. Double flat 7. Okay, so you'd simply, to make a diminished, okay, I'm going to write this. To make an A diminished, we'll start with the A minor 7, right? Root, third, fifth, and seventh. We're going to make it a half diminished, so the flat fifth. So we've got A, C, E flat, and G. And to make it a full diminished, right, this needs to be a G flat. Okay, so it's already a flat 7th, but we made it a double flat 7th. And so you got A, C, E flat, G flat, and that's a diminished. And we'll do one more. Take A flat minor 7 and make that an A flat diminished. Okay, so first, we're going to make a half diminished. So we flat the 5th, so it's A flat, C flat, E flat. It's going to be E double flat. So let's just, and we're also going to make this flat. So let's just talk about the concept of double flat. All right, so E flat equals D sharp, really. Okay, and E flat is a D sharp. So what is an E double flat? Well, E double flat is just a D. Right? Just the same way that C flat, really, you won't find it on the keyboard because it's just B. Okay, and G flat, G double flat, again, G flat would be F sharp, and G double flat would just be F. Okay, so really what you've got here is, for an A flat diminished, you've actually just got A flat, B, D, and F. Okay, so towards the end there, we got a bit complicated because diminished, they're a bit complicated. Okay, double flats, these are concepts that are quite abstract and maybe a bit hard to understand. Okay, but just for the sake of making it complete, we had to go there.